in 2023, I left AEW, right? And there was a lot of reasons that people thought, and mainly the main reason was I just wasn't happy. I had to figure out what was going to make me happy. And honestly, what made me happy was for me, it was not having to come to work every week with my gear bag, wondering what could happen. So when I spoke to Tony afterwards, we decided like, hey, I'm just not going to wrestle. And I was like, great. I can come there with a backpack. I don't have to worry. I just worry about the office work. I don't have to stress about, if you need someone for match number 3 or whatever, and I know I'm a great guy to do it. Now I don't have to say, oh, that could be me, And then if he says no, then I get, in my feelings and so on. It's not worth it. So it's much easier for me to just go to work with a backpack and, help him put on the best show possible. And for me, like I said, that made me very happy. And it was a very easy decision for me.
It is very interesting. Now, for your experience, when you chose to come back to AEW and make that decision with Tony Khan to say, hey, I'm gonna do the office job and that's gonna be my main focal point. To make that decision, it's definitely a career shift for you, even though you're still doing some wrestling, outside of AEW. But were you cool with that? Did that take some time for you to process, or were you just like, let's go, I'm here and I'm ready?
Yeah, honestly, no, it was pretty simple for me. I mean, especially knowing that I could go work for anyone else besides WWE. Now, I didn't realize WWE was going to buy up every single company to kind of hinder a lot of that. But I mean, still, I can pick and choose. And one of the other things I was able to do was, start my own independent wrestling organization, which is what I really cared about. So, when I want to wrestle, I just wrestle there. You know what I mean? And then when these opportunities like Full Gear come up or something like that, if I could throw my name in and make it work. But I think it's helped overall. It's also helped with our company where, every time I was put in a position on television, I think the perception was that it was coming from me. And that really bothered me because I never once, came up with ideas or, it was always like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Would you be willing to do this? What if we put these guys with you? What if you went out there, as Powerhouse Hobbs, his manager? And I was like, sure, that's what you want me to do. I'm going to do it because you pay me and I can make anything work. And I think there was a lot of people that were a little upset by those things because they know how close I am to the office and so on and so forth and to Tony. But it was like, that wasn't what it was at all. And there was even some talent that kind of thought that about me. And then I had to sit with them and speak to them and let them know, like, none of these are my ideas. If you think, someone else is reporting that I want to be the biggest star in the world, but yet you think I'm pitching to be someone's manager, like none of that makes sense. You know what I mean? So to me, this is much easier. I don't have to worry about it now. Because like I said, anything that I'm going to do, I'm sure people are going to say, well, that's because of his job behind the scenes. And it's like, to take away a lot of hard work and stuff that I've put in over the years, when I first started AEW, I wasn't supposed to wrestle anyway. It was just, we hit the pandemic and, I was teaming with Dustin once in a while and because they wanted somebody with him that could kind of, just be his partner and so on and so forth. And then when the pandemic hit, it was just based off of trust. Like, okay, well, can you, do the first match for, Mr. Brody Lee, because I know it's live TV. There's no audience. And I mean, who better than a guy that was probably training in front of no audience in a wrestling facility for 15 years? You know what I mean? So a lot of these opportunities, like I said, they didn't come from me. They weren't my ideas. If anyone thinks that I pitched to wrestle, Paul White and lose in 3 minutes on a pay-per-view, I think, and then a lot of times I get flack for stuff like that, where it's like, well, why is he in this match? And it's like, I would love to put someone else in that match to go out there and lose in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, of course, but at the end of the day, I'm asked to do it. I'm just going to do what I'm told because I like the paycheck every 2 weeks, and that's really what it comes down to. For me, this is a job. And that's the way I was brought into the industry. And that's kind of like my philosophy on everything. There are times where you're not going to love what you're doing, and you can always, try to change stuff and ask for certain things that will make you happy. But if the answer is no, the answer is no.